And well, here we are again, guys. We are at episode 9. Is it 9? Have we made it this far? And it is June 9th. So we've done 9 episodes in 6 months. Congratulations, Rafi.
Yes.
How you doing?
Good. How about you, man?
Oh, not too bad. Start of another busy week, as usual. We got smartasses in the chat already. Look at this guy. He's already starting out on Team ASF. Nah, I don't think so.
We'll see.
And he raises quail, if I'm not mistaken. So this is going to be a tough one. Holly, always, she's first, wants a prize. Where are you now, Holly? I got a feeling you just did a drive-by.
2 questions, though.
What's up?
Not 2 questions. 1 question and 1 fact. Question 1, why whenever I make a comment, it just like multiplies, like all of us are, like it shows, at least in my chat, shows like 3 different, from Holly, from you, and from me.
That's because you are technology retarded a little bit. You got
only technology? Only technology?
Well, for the sake of this topic.
I got an upgrade then. And the second one is the song that is being used for the intro is copyrighted. So we always get a copyright strike whenever we have the podcast.
Oh, do we really?
We do.
Okay.
So we're not going to be able to monetize for the 2 people that are watching. So,
dang, oh well. I guess we'll have to fix that at some point. Holly's cooking, she said.
Yes.
All right. Thanks for the encouragement, joke artist. All right. So tonight's episode is going to be all about ASFs versus quail. Which one is a better feeder? It's the great debate that nobody's having. The only reason we're talking about it is because I started raising quail and I found out some interesting stuff. And I think it would be good to do a little bit of a comparative analysis and get some feedback from some of the folks in the chat. Queen City Pythons, you look new. Thanks for coming by. Denny, Queen City Pythons. All right. Appreciate it. All right. So
is this going to be a debate, or this is going to be advertising, just for me to know? Because I'm not selling ASFs and I'm not breeding ASFs. So like, should I be defending or just agreeing with you because you're going to give me some money on the side?
Well, why did you say that in front of everybody? What the hell? All right. So you don't raise ASFs, but you have in the past, and you're a bit of an ASF fanboy. So hopefully you know a little bit about ASFs. I see Holly's in the chat. Holly raises ASFs. That all she knows is ASF, never fed quail. All right, Holly, since you're too busy cooking, but you can text, you got to give Rafi a hand here on some of the ASF knowledge. Okay, so backstory. As you recall, I moved into this house back in October. All right, we bought a new house, moved all my snakes in my ASF colonies over here. Put my ASF colonies in the utility room. I've got a big 16 by 16 utility room. Yeah, ASFs are banned in Georgia. That's why Rafi can't have any. Rafi needs to move to Idaho.
No, I'm not moving there, but I'm seriously debating on moving to Tennessee. Not only because of the snakes, but because of everything. It's a more conservative state, so no state taxes. I think I can do much better there than here as far as living.
All right. So yeah, Rafi's claiming he's going to move to Tennessee. So moved all the ASFs over here, and they promptly stopped producing. 100%. Don't know what happened. Right? You and I talked about it. Theories are I left the lights on in the utility room because I was going in and out at all hours of the night. So I just started leaving them on 24/7. I didn't pay attention to the temperature, which was in the low to mid 60s. So that was probably something that had to do with it also. So raised the temperature, got the light cycle back on day and night, but ASFs have been slow to come back. So I had to supplement. So up to the mice colonies quite a bit. Mice have come in clutch for me, by the way, while I've been raising my ASFs back up. But then again, so have quail. Out here where I'm at, everybody has quail. Everybody. I mean, so you don't have quail? That's really weird. Why don't you have quail? We have quail. I mean, that's kind of how it is out here. All right, I'm going to get out of the chat.
We all know that, Holly.
So I started looking into the quail and got some quail, started raising them up, hatching quail and everything. And turns out these things, at least to me, are really, really easy to take care of compared to the ASFs. So I started thinking, why do we do ASFs instead of quail? Like, what are the big issues there? Right. The one thing that I've heard repeatedly about quail or about feeding birds in general is that you get watery poos and they make big messes. I've been doing it for a couple months. I haven't seen that yet. So I can't really say that that's a thing, at least from what I observe. Now, maybe that's with chicks or something else, but with the quail, I don't see that.
Let's start from the beginning. Like, why did you start with the quails? Like, what was when that came about? I know that everybody breeds quail in there, but like,
Right.
where did you find like a breeder, and how did you get into this venture?
So moved in October. My ASF colonies were dropping off. I still had, plenty left over. Was trying to get them going. We bought some quail eggs from a local farmer. Just, we got 4 eggs, hatching eggs, just to see, if they would hatch. 2 of them hatched. And then I bought a bunch more hatching eggs. And then I bought a bunch more quail and decided to give it a go. Did some reading on quail, and I've got, I don't know how many quail I have now. I have to count. I mean, it's not like 100 or 50.
Do you have in your house?
I have baby quail in the brooder, and then I have adult quail in the hutch outside, and I have to build a new hutch if I want to have an appreciable amount of quail. But so Choke Artist says super easy to take care of when they go in the freezer on day 1.
Yeah, that everybody knows that too. So
yeah. So Ollie's not here on the show, but she's telling us both we suck. So yeah, I'm finding out that it's real easy to raise the quail. I like them better personally, just from the fact that they're not rodents. I don't care for rodents. And there are multiple things that I've come to observe that are different between the quail and the ASFs that have made me really wonder, maybe I could just switch over to quail completely. But there are some caveats. It's not all puppies and rainbows. So the first thing we'll talk about is nutritional content. I think ASFs and quail are kind of both looked at as the best things that you can feed your captive reptiles, or your captive pythons at least. The birds are a lot more, arboreal focused. ASFs are, a lot more of our, ball pythons and terrestrial stuff. But it's interchangeable. I mean, I think everybody agrees that for the most part, you can feed quail, you can switch them back and forth, and they're pretty nutritious. Quail do have a little bit more protein. So they average about 68% protein, as ASFs are 60% protein. Fat content is roughly the same, 29 to 32%. ASFs, what are you shaking? What are you telling me?
they're not.
Oh,
Like,
yeah?
ASFs have more fat than quail for sure. unless you're talking about adult quail. When you get to younger quail, they're not going to have as much fat as ASFs.
Yeah.
They are going to
So I mean,
be.
yeah, I would say my internet searches are probably adult to adult comparison. So do you still think that adult to adult fat content is roughly the same?
I would say so, but if you get into the younger ones, what you're going to be feeding, it's going to be 25 to 30 on quail, and it's going to be roughly 35 to 40 on ASFs.
And how do you know this? What makes you the expert?
I researched as much as you did.
I thought you were going to talk about your line of work.
Yes. So, because I work in the food industry, it always interests me, the nutritional facts of anything, food, feed. Like I look at the feed for the rodents as well. I
Yeah.
look at the feed for my dogs. I'm constantly looking for the best nutrition that I can give to my animals, and to myself, although I don't always follow what I research. But that kind of interests me, and I told at one point I'm gonna buy ASFs, and I have the Norwegians, and I'm gonna send to a lab to actually the same size to try to get a factual, because I want to see somebody that feeds the same as I do, the same diet, and I want to
Right.
see what's the difference in nutrition, one versus the other, weight per weight. I don't want to just get, because if you get like a smaller ASF, is going to be different than a smaller rat, for example. So I want to get like both sides as you're feeding your animals, and see what's going to be the outcome.
Right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Choke artist says buy a hatching time rack system. Oh, hatching time. I got you. That's the brand. Yeah, I saw those. That's coming. I just gotta build basically a shed for it. I can't keep that in the house, I don't think. I have a big house, but I mean, there's got to be a limit to living things I put in here. Holly, these balls keep claiming my trees here and eating all the neighborhood birds.
Uh, Holly, are you cooking brownies of some sort, like magic brownies? Hey Todd, what's going on, man?
Hey, Todd, thanks for coming by. She says climbing. I don't know what Holly's doing right now.
Yeah,
Okay, so a little bit of a debate on fat, but it sounds like adult to adult, and there's definitely going to be age range that you're feeding your snakes as they're obviously growing, right? Like you said, baby quail are going to have less fat than baby ASFs, right? That's what you were saying. That makes sense to me. So that's something to keep in mind.
birds
The other thing I noticed,
usually birds are young birds usually are very lean, like any species. Like it's very hard to get like a baby bird that is gonna be fatty. Let's put it this
yeah,
way. As they grow, like chicken, for example, if you kill a young chicken, you're not gonna have as much fat. But then when you keep like slaughtering jumbo birds, around 62 to 65 days, they're going to be much fattier, because then they stop growing muscles and they put everything on fat, mostly.
yeah.
So
And so, so speaking of fat, how important do you think that is in the development of a young snake hatchling moving up? I mean, notionally, you can say it's more important to have fat when you're young than it is when you're an adult. I mean, that kind of transcends most species. But you have any take on pythons specifically?
for example, when you're growing, when a female is growing follicles, I think fat is important, because they're going to need that fat reserved, because they're going to put all the energy in fat. Otherwise, it's going to consume muscle. You don't want a fatty snake, but you want those fat reserves because they're going to put a lot of energy producing eggs. So I would say that on females is important, like mostly, and males too, because they put a lot of energy in breeding. So you want that fat on that male to be able to sustain themselves during the breeding season.
Yeah, yeah, that makes perfect sense. And after too, you want them to make sure that they've got some reserves, so they've got a good start after they've expended all the energy laying the eggs. And if you maternally incubate, which some people do, then you've got that 60-ish days where she's burning energy, incubating the eggs. So, yeah, okay, good point. One thing with the quail, if you want them to produce, and they'll produce about 300, 350 eggs a year. So they're laying an egg, sometimes 2 eggs a day. So that's a lot of potential, turnover, right? But you have to incubate those eggs, and you have to have 100% hatch rate, which I don't see that right now with mine, but I'll get into that. But in order to get them to lay eggs consistently, you've got to have 14 hours of sunlight. Not a big deal. I mean, you can put a lamp in there, you can, modify it and, have an artificial day. ASFs, I think you just need to have a general day and night cycle, maybe 12 and 12. And before my experience, I would say it probably didn't matter that much. The mice didn't care. The mice kept producing with the light on, but the ASFs, whether it was temperature or the light or both, who knows? They definitely stopped cold. So, and they're all producing now.
What about space?
So getting to space, and we'll get to feed also. Good question. So 14 hours of daylight, no real day nighttime requirements as long as you have a day and night cycle. There's a seasonal production dip with quail, and there's a little bit of a seasonal production dip with ASFs, but I think it's pretty marginal. I mean, some people in the more northern states probably see it more so than those in the southern states. I don't think, as far as I can tell, anybody in the chat or Rafi, do you guys hear anything about that? Like anybody having to prepare for their ASFs to produce fewer pups in the winter or a certain time of the year?
When I had them, what I noticed, if they like they like the temperature warmer than rats. But the problem with ASF, it gets too hot. I notice a very good decline in production. Like if you get above 86, 87, you have a really, really bad decline in production, like 30%, I would say.
Okay.
So that's something to consider too. In summertime, if you don't have proper air conditioning, you're going to see a decline in production.
Yeah. So with respect to temperature, what would you say the sweet spot is?
They produce well for me from 76 to 82. I would say that it's a good range. After 85, you start feeling the heat. So with Norwegians too, like you start, and they suffer with much more because of their dense bodies.
Right.
They produce a lot more heat. So I would say that with Norwegians, you even have to go lower. And I got to the point that here in my shed, even with the air conditioning, I have to change the exhaust system because would get to 90 degrees, even with the air conditioning. So I had to put a timer on the exhaust fan to pull the air out instead of having constantly just like exchanging air. I had to put like every 30 minutes the exhaust fan will kick on for 5 minutes and then remove all the ammonia, all the heat, the ammonia and the stuff there, and then keep it cold in there. So I never had an issue after I changed to that.
Yeah, and with the quail, I think they probably have a little bit more of a broader temperature range. I would say probably low 60s to low 80s. Choke artist, if you got, I always forget your name. Sorry, dude. But choke artist exotics, I know you raise quail.
Chad.
What is it?
Chad.
Chet?
Chad.
Champ?
Chimp. Chad.
Chad. Yeah, Chad, drop us your thoughts in the chat on quail temperature. As far as I know, they have a broader temperature range and it's a little bit lower than the quail. And as far as quail are concerned, I'm raising the Coturnix quail because that's really common out here and they seem to be the best producers. There's a jumbo version that I'm going to try out. I can buy the hatching eggs. So I'm going to give that a shot just to see how things go.
To
one thing that I
Holly's,
have.
to Holly's point, she's mentioning like from the first litter, 5 months.
Okay, let's see.
I don't know I don't know how she does rotation. But what I used to do, instead of doing what people do and they end up like being without any production, I do by tub. So whenever I see that the females are getting older, I would put an R for retirement. I'll pull the male off and let them wean the babies, and then I'll replace that tub. Instead of having a whole rack that immediately will stop production, I'll have a lower production from those females, but still I had a constant production on my animals. So I never, even with the Norwegians, I don't replace a whole rack like people do. Unless you have multiples and multiple racks. Even Tyler mentioned, I think, in one of the shows that he decided to retire like a whole colony, the entire rack, and then he started getting orders, and he didn't have any ASFs to feed to give to sell to people because he did that. So I tend to, what happens with Norwegians with ASFs, like most colonies in the US, they have the papilloma virus, which has the same symptoms as HPV in humans. So they have genital warts, and it goes to their tails, it goes to the genitals. So if you're having that already, it's because your animals are too old, because they're not supposed, like, you have to replace them before they start, because they only get that when they're old, like the actual warts, they only get that after they get older. So you don't see in young animals, you don't see in adults. When they start appearing, it's because you're past due on your replacement of your colony.
Yeah, Holly says she keeps hers in production.
Yeah, I agree.
It sounds like she sizes hers out. When I start, well, I mean, this past, I ended up cycling out the whole colony. But yeah, everybody just completely stopped. But everybody was a year old. I mean, I started that colony, all those colonies at the same time. All right, so it was roughly a year, early spring, and so I just cycled everybody out.
Yeah, 1 year is pushing, to be honest. Usually I use, let's see, probably a little bit after Hollies, probably like 6 months after they start, like about 8 months of age. That's when I used to replace them.
Yeah. And so because of the issues I had with the ASFs, that's why I upped my mouse production and my, got into the quail. And so that's another thing that I really like about the quail is that 18 days of incubation, and then 18 days roughly, you have a quail that's basically the size of a small rat. So it's 36 days from the day that the egg is laid that you've got a meal for an adult ball python. And you let them go get full size, then they become, roughly the size of a large rat or a really big medium rat, at least. So definitely worth it. And that takes 8 weeks post hatch, I think, for them to get size on them to be the same as the medium rat.
To me, just the word hatch is a big con.
Yeah, so that's definitely a con, because you have to collect the eggs and then you have to incubate the eggs, and so you have an additional step, and so you have to make sure that you incubate properly, just like you do with the snakes, and you have to make sure you get good hatch rates. Like with the eggs that I'm getting now, my hatch rate is just over 50%, which is terrible. And I think that's because his colony of quail is old and it's been, cycled within. It's been line bred too much. So I'm going to get some other eggs and try it out because a 56% hatch rate just,
And
for
if you
me, for
think
my
of,
small operation, that's still fine.
so let's think of 2 eggs, 1 egg every 2 days, just as a rough math, because it's 150 eggs in a year. So like let's think you're
Wait,
gonna have.
hold on, Rafi. You need to answer this question. Can you get warts from your rats?
If you use protection, no.
But seriously though, that HPV, is that a
No,
different
it's
form
not
of
HPV. It's papillomavirus, so it's not human. It's not the same. It's not the same virus. So
Okay.
it's species specific. So it's not a zoonosis, like what we call it when
It's
when it trans.
RPV.
I don't
All
know
right.
if it's RPV, but it's papillomavirus is not the same.
All right. There you go, Chad. You can't get warts. You didn't let your friend know that.
As long as you use protection, it's fine.
Yeah. Todd's thinking about trying button quail. Yeah. He's got a lot of colubrids. I can see that working out. Chuck Artist says he's have 6 months. Oh, wow. So I've never seen any sores on mine. Interesting.
Okay, you're talking about the quails, right?
No, I
Oh,
think
you're talking about the adults when you start. They're not sores, they're warts. So like a sore is gonna be concave, and a wart is gonna you're gonna have actually a wart. So but that's like you start seeing the first time you start seeing them, it's on the tail usually, and then it start forming on the genitals, and it gets to a point that is you feel sorry for the animal because they get like all over the genitals, and they're probably having issues. Like it's really bad, but all the colonies in the US have them, and I bet that Canada is the same thing. And it doesn't do any harm to the snake. So if you want to feed them off with the warts, it doesn't do anything. It's just.
yeah. No, I have yet to see that yet. So there's another plus. As far as I know, quail don't get papillomavirus.
And the lumps are usually like fatty tumors. It's not related to. It's just because they're getting old. It's not related to the papillomavirus.
Hmm.
Just rats. Rats. If you had rats that are too old, they start like some of them will start getting very big lumps, and they're fatty tumors.
Yeah. So, all right, rats are grosser. So there you go. There's a con for the rats. The quail don't, I mean, the ASFs don't really smell. I keep mine clean. The quail smell about as much as the ASFs, but I appreciate the quail smell more than the ASF smell. If that makes
I
sense.
was gonna say let's put a stop on the ASFs don't smell. They smell less than rats. They have their own smell. They smell much less than the rats, but they still have
Yeah.
a rodent. It's pee and poo, right? If you're gonna clean once a week, day 7, it's gonna be. If you have like a good amount of them, you're gonna have a nasty smell.
Yeah.
Especially if you're like on your wean tubs, when you're gonna have more animals per tub, or if you have that tub that you had the 3 females decided to have litters at the same time, it's gonna be like, and then you have a bunch of weans like in that tub is gonna be bad.
Yeah. No, I say they smell about the same, but I
Hey,
appreciate the quail smell more than the ASF smell. No,
hey,
I don't
Chad,
want to see a picture.
hey, Chad, what kind of pick?
I don't think he can upload it in the chat, but I'm not going
Tra-
to click on it if he can.
Travs may be interesting depending on the type of picture that you want to send. I mean, you can Google it like.
I won't.
But we're trying to educate people, and not everybody knows about, and then we can show them.
Oh, here we go. Quail shit smells much worse than ASFs. Okay, interesting. It doesn't seem to bother me the same way as it does with the the ASFs, but I don't like rodents.
Maybe you have too little. That's the thing.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Then I appreciate the fact that I have a small collection. So I don't have a whole shed full of rats or quail. But the other thing that I noticed is that the quail are very, very easy to call compared to ASFs.
How do you call
ASFs,
them?
you typically use the CO2. I use the farmer method, and I give them a thump. The quail, it's almost no effort whatsoever. Excuse me, which is kind of what I remembered growing up. You know, we didn't have quail, but we had chickens and rabbits, and they were fairly easy to call. The ASFs are tough. They're really tough, and you got to make sure you've got good aim and everything so that you get it right, done right the first time.
No, you're not gonna do that, Trav. You're gonna use CO2. Like if you're gonna be if you're gonna be culling ASFs like by thumping on the corner of the table every time, it's unless you have to call like one because it's injured or something like that.
I'm not thumping them on the table. I have a more a modern culling method than that.
Explain to us.
Explain my culling method.
Yeah, of course.
Well, I basically, instead of thumping the rat on the table, I hit the rat in the head. But you hit it just right, and it.
I think CO2 is much easier.
Then you got to go get the bottle and everything.
Some people do they cull with frozen CO2.
Yeah.
But I rather not have to grab like CO2 if I don't have to. I just have the cylinder to cull my rats.
Yeah, I don't know why it would make a difference whether it's argon or CO2. We're just replacing the oxygen. I imagine it's the same.
I don't know. I never did with argon.
I imagine. I don't know which one's cheaper. Probably CO2.
Usually for rodents, like big ones will take a little bit more time. But once you have your CO2 chamber and you release the CO2, it doesn't take more than 2 minutes. They start like trembling and then they just fall asleep.
You don't think they're suffering when they're trembling?
They don't seem like suffering. Like they seem very peaceful when they I think they just pass out, to be honest.
Peaceful.
No, it's just like they start like trembling a little bit and just like fall asleep. They don't look like they're suffocating. For example, they have their mouth open and they have like different like a difficult time breathing. I think that's why I like, to me it's more peaceful than having like, imagine if you're gonna call 50 and you have to be thumping like them on the head like several times. It's like I hate to.
Oh, you got to be good at it. You got to do it once right.
Yeah, but I to be honest, it doesn't
You
matter if
probably
it's
have too many for that.
if it's a rat or if it's a snake that you have like a baby that was deformed that you have to cull. I hate killing animals. Like I do it because I have to. Like I work as a farmer. Like this is a farm to me. It's just a different species, but
Yeah.
like I hate killing animals. It's just like every time it just like kills me.
Yeah, I mean I don't like it either, but it's part of the.
Yep.
Part
You
of the
have
whole
to
thing.
turn that switch on and just like block your feelings, and it's just that's like when I go to chicken plants, it's the same thing. It's just like the slaughtering part is horrible, but I have to or turn off the switch, whatever you call it.
Yeah, I don't know, Todd. I wouldn't. I don't have an opinion on whether or not argon. I don't know why it would. They're both oxygen displacers. I couldn't tell you. Yeah, if you find out, let me know. I mean, but I imagine argon's probably more expensive than CO2. So as far as quail, Chad says quail go down quicker with CO2 than rats. So the other thing too is if you do feed live, the quail, I would say, are dispatched immediately. There's no struggle at all with the quail. I think as soon as the snake wraps the quail, they give up. And I think they're a lot more delicate, so they succumb almost instantly. So you don't have that potential injury to the snake if you're feeding.
Yeah, I was
live.
gonna say they're safer. Let's put it this way.
Yeah, I think that they're a lot safer than the
There,
ASF are.
there is no harm of forgetting a quail, a live quail inside of the tub versus a rodent. It doesn't matter which rodent it is.
Yeah, and you know if you've forgotten a quail because you hear the chirping.
That's another negative. No, I mean seriously, if you're in a neighborhood and you have like 300 quail, the neighbors are gonna listen to, like, you can't have, another thing is you can't have quail inside of a house mostly. You have to have a shed. If you have a small collection, you might get away with. I wouldn't advise anybody to have rodents inside of their house, because if they escape, they can basically destroy your house. But with quail, you cannot have them inside of your house. Like, even like ventilation and all of that. How do you
I
do
don't
your
know. I think if I
ventilation
had
on
to
your?
choose between the two, I think I would put quail in my house before I would put rats. And I would say ventilation, you need equal to both.
Do they have a
Everything.
lot of dust? Do they have a lot of feather
So
dust or no?
that's what I think. The negative for quail is they're probably more dusty. They kick up more dust. There's more. I don't know how to explain it. The way that you keep the quail is dustier because you need to have the scratch for them, and you need to have like a little bit of a dust bath kind of thing. So yeah, I'd say that's a negative for the quail. But no, Chad, the quail are winning hands down, beak down. I don't know.
Yeah,
Wings
right.
down. I mean,
I don't
really,
know. I don't know where you took that from, but
the
that's
only
fine.
thing the ASFs have on the quail is that you can keep more ASFs in the same space than you can quail.
No, they produce more
They don't actually.
because they produce throughout the year.
Right. They have about 120 babies a year on average.
I don't know where you're like getting your numbers from, but
This is from my guided research. What are you talking about?
ChatGPT.
Yeah, Chat GPT. Like 15 minutes before the show.
No, I would say that they produce more than 120 babies. You have some female, of course, you have the odd females, but you have females that would produce 25 to 30 babies, one female. And
In one litter.
it's insane. Like, sometimes you would think that just like you had two females giving birth, because the good thing about them too is most rodents, like when you have multiple females in a cage, they will take care of each other's babies, right? So you think you have two litters in there, and then you look at the other female, and the other female is pregnant. So like it's from the same female, and it's like insane.
I've never seen
Another
that's crazy. I've never seen that many. I've seen maybe, let's say maybe close to 20.
20 is very, very common. Very, very
A
common.
whole handful.
And another thing that we have to take into consideration is not nutrition, but it is size by size. Which one is more dense?
Which one? Well, I mean, if you feed a 40-gram ASF and a 40-gram quail, I mean,
No, I'm talking about, like, because a 40-gram SF and a 40-gram quail the quail is gonna be much bigger.
the quail will be bigger, but it's still 40 grams of matter.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're gonna feed like size, like you're talking about hatchlings,
Right.
it's gonna matter, like the size. Like, you're gonna I would say that you're gonna see much more growth out of the ASF versus the quail.
So the way to determine that is we'd have to take ounce per ounce. So we take like a 50-gram ASF and a 50-gram quail.
Yeah, but
And
if you can't feed, if you can't feed because it's too big, the quail, like the 50-gram quail, you cannot feed to the hatchling because it's too big.
well, why would it be that much bigger? I mean, they really aren't that much.
I don't know. I haven't grown. Like, that's a question.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like, how a 50-gram ASF will stack against 50-gram quail. I don't know.
I mean, you would have feathers. That's pretty much it. Poofy. They would be poofy. Have you ever seen a wet bird?
Hmm.
They don't look very.
Have you ever seen a wet chinchilla? It looks like a freaking alien. Um,
All right, so what do you got? Hold on. Todd says during a seminar at Colubrid Fest, the vet advised that blunt force trauma to the head is considered most humane calling method. So, well done, Travis.
especially if
And
you're
you're a vet,
thinking,
Rocky, and you didn't know this. What kind of vet are you?
yeah, but if you don't do it, right, which most of the times doesn't happen, especially on rodents, you're gonna have that rodent like freaking like agonizing pain. Um,
No,
so
you got to be good. You just got to be good.
especially snakes is the same thing. As much as it hurts me to tell, the best way to kill a snake is hammering its head, because then you completely destroy the brainstem, and they're gonna, if you freeze them, it hurts. Like the ice crystals are gonna start like forming like in their blood, like if you're freezing them, and they're gonna feel pain the entire time that they're in the freezer. So that's why I say, like, when you have like a very deformed baby that you cannot, there's nothing you can do. It's not like missing an eye or a cleft lip. Like when
Yeah.
they're kinked, like the like severely kinked, it you have to, unfortunately, you have to, if you don't have one of those impact guns, you have to basically hammer them on the head. It's going to be the most humane way to call them.
Yeah. I hear you.
No, I agree with Todd. I think it is the most, like, if you knock them in the head like really hard, like without, because if you're feeling sorry for the rodent, that's your mistake, because then that's when you're not
Then
gonna
they
hit hard
suffer.
enough.
Yeah. Then they suffer if you feel sorry for them. And you got to make sure that you're doing good size here.
Misha Morphs, what's up, bud?
So what do we got?
Well, I just use a regular hammer.
Oh, actually, I use the hammer that used to come with the dubia reptile enclosures.
I think the regular hammer is like what, 12 ounces.
Yeah, something like that. But the hammer that comes with the dubia reptile enclosures is a flat. It's got a nice flat, wide surface on it. So that's
So what I
perfect.
do first that people don't recommend, I use CO2 just to knock them down, because like it's hard to hammer a snake head if they're conscious, right? So I try to put them to sleep, leave them like 5 minutes in the CO2 chamber. They pass out, and I quickly do, before they recover, I quickly do it, just to make as painful as possible.
Yeah, I hear you. So the biggest reason why quail are better than ASFs has yet to be discussed. So anybody in the chat care to elaborate on what that reason would be? Why are quail better than ASFs as feeders? It's a big, big reason. And I have been very quiet about it because I was saving it for the end to put Rafi to sleep.
Am I gonna get that advertising money to make it?
No, you're not, because you've not been doing a good job at all. You've been arguing with me on just about everything.
No.
It's just arguing.
I never argue with you, Trav.
Yeah, so we covered that. Quail have a little bit more protein than the ASFs do. If you look at adult to adult, baby ASFs we agree, are more fatty than baby quail. Adult quail are pretty lean, a little bit leaner than a little bit. No, they're about the same actually, as far as fat content goes, at least according to my guided Chat GPT search. Yeah, he's arguing about arguing.
Yeah, that's the whole point. That's when you have ADHD. You have to always be right.
Yeah.
So
That's my,
we're both butting heads here.
so what is the biggest reason, everybody, Chad included, why are quail better than ASFs?
I can't tell you because I think it's false. You're
Okay.
not asking
All right.
which one is better.
I'm gonna sweeten the deal here. Whoever guesses it in the chat, I'll give you a $200 credit to something I don't have for sale yet. But it's good. It's redeemable whenever. It doesn't expire. Bones.
I hope it's not your body. I would say your store because nobody would want to buy that.
Yeah, I'm not selling that for anything. Okay, so Reptiles and Oddities says bones, no. Cheaper feed. Oh, we didn't cover this. So I have found the feed not to be quite as cheap as like Missouri. I think Missouri is about as cheap as you can get it.
Nope. I have to
No?
argue here.
What?
Actually, Missouri, they kept their prices the same, but they reduced the bag size to 40 pounds instead of 50 pounds. And they're more expensive than Kalmbach.
Okay.
And I notice another thing too. I noticed that the Kalmbach, they like it better. Like when I tried to, one time they ran out of Kalmbach and I tried to use Missouri, they didn't want to eat it.
Interesting.
They got used to it. I think my rodents are better with Kalmbach in general than I try another one that is a local feed meal here that is very cheap. I think it's like $19 a bag. I wouldn't give this to anybody. This like
Yeah.
they hated it. It's like dry and it smells like cement. Like it's terrible. It's FRM, I think. And I'm sorry to what's the name of the guy here in Georgia? Justin's buddy.
I couldn't tell you.
Rice reptiles. They use FRM, the one that I was telling you. I cannot use that feed. Like my rats didn't want to eat it. Basically,
No.
I would put in there and would sit like for a rat not to want to eat something is because it's bad.
It's got to be pretty bad. Yeah. So Todd says, when you call a snake or have a dead in the egg, do you give them to folks like me with egg eater species?
If I had
nobody around here that has a snake like that, so no.
If I had it, I would. If like if you had tegus or monitors or something, I would definitely give it to. It's not worth it to be shipping it, but I would definitely give to somebody if I had like somebody with colubrids and like king snakes or something.
Yeah, Reptiles and Oddities said, is it more protein in the muscle? No, not the reason. More digested and less secretion waste. I do notice that, but that's not the number one reason. Quail are better. Queen City Python says they're 23%.
Yeah, I use 23% as well.
All eaten. All right. So the biggest reason quail are better than ASFs is that we can eat them and we can eat their eggs. So it's dual purpose. I can raise quail for the kids and I can raise quail for the snakies.
It's a valid point. I don't want to be defattering quails unless you're going to buy one of those dishwashers with the rubber, like the picker fingers to remove the fatters.
Yeah,
like
yeah. Yep.
Actually, they replicated that, like the rubber fingers that when you see like those defattering machines that you have with the rubber fingers, they replicated that from the industry. The chicken industry uses like big cylinders, like where the for chicken paws to remove the yellow cuticle, they have like big cylinders where the paws go through, and on the picking line after the birds are scalded, you have discs that like spin and they have those rubber fingers, so pull all the feathers off after you scald them. That's where they get the idea from, the washing machine that removes the feathers.
Yeah, so there you go. You've got a tool for it, so not a big deal.
And what's the, not talking about feeding, like the species that you're using, what's the age that the quail is going to outgrow like a medium-sized ball python, like a 1,500-gram ball python? Um,
So an adult Coturnix is, I think the biggest that they'll get is a small, large rat. So maybe somewhere between a medium and a large rat. And the other thing that we didn't talk about is they roughly have about a 6 month, 6 to 8 month reproductive cycle before they start to age out and decline.
oh, 6 to 8 months.
6 to 8 months, yeah. So it's
And
about a year. I think most people, they're calling them before that. So
and
it's roughly the same as an ASF.
and when do they start producing?
They can start producing roughly 18 to 24 days after they've hatched.
They start producing already.
Yeah, they grow really, really fast. That's almost a negative, is that you can have day olds right on the 9th of June, and they're great for your hatchlings, and then on the the 16th of June, they might be almost a little too big.
So they're worse than rats.
As far as growth goes,
Yeah, I'm not talking about ASF. Just like it's worse than rats as far
yeah,
as
they grow really fast.
because rats, you blink and you can't use them anymore.
Yeah. So, but the upside is that you get eggs every day, so you have a constant influx, right? So if you have enough quail, in theory, you always have day olds. You got a day old hatching every day, just about. So.
And I think it's a great feeder, quail. The only two caveats, the biggest ones for me, is the hatching, that you have an extra step,
Yeah.
and then space. I think those are the biggest things to me, because I think variety is the key, to be honest.
Yeah.
If I had, I would have like multiple species of everything, just like to rotate gerbils, hamsters, mice, rats, ASFs, quail, whatever I could get my hands on, just like to diversify the feeding. But quail is kind of tough, like to breed them. I would say, like if you have smaller space, like let's say that
Yeah.
you, for example, my property is like I'm sitting at 0.2 acres. I don't have a lot of space, and I live in a neighborhood, so I cannot have like birds chirping, and like it's gonna call the attention, especially because you have to have the exhaust. When it's exhausting, it's gonna exhaust the noise too.
Well, yeah, you got to exhaust that noise up and away from everything, but they're not that loud. They do make noise, but relatively speaking, they're pretty quiet. And so, like, mine are in the yard, and I never hear them, save every once in a while in the morning. Male will give a little bit of a cackle, and it's nothing like a chicken for sure. But yeah,
And
Chad says you could eat a rat. Sure, you can eat a rat.
I mean, you can if you're Chinese.
Yeah.
I mean, I bet that they're good, to be honest. Like Peruvians, they would eat guinea pigs. It's another species, but that's a big thing, and they basically it's a tailless rat. I mean,
Yeah,
people can say,
I wanted to try those, but my wife said absolutely not, because I wanted to do something dual purpose, and I've been curious about guinea pigs, but she said no way. She had a guinea pig growing up, and no, not going to happen. So
and
quail
guinea pigs are not very prolific either. So it's
yeah,
not, they have like two or three. So I wouldn't say that is a good. I wouldn't say that is a good breeding feeder.
yeah, it's true. Oh, give me just a second, guys. I will be right back. Rafi, tell them something interesting for 5 minutes.
I was gonna do the giveaway, but like, do you have to go? Okay, I
No, I'm
guess.
not leaving, but I'll be right back. I'm leaving, but I'll be right back.
Okay. Uh, Oh, that's interesting. So rats are on the. Oh yeah, that's for sure. Like they have the what they're called swamp rats or whatever they're called, the big ones that they have. They serve in. I've seen a documentary about it. I don't remember how they're called, but they do eat rodents here in the south. Is it Louisiana or is it Mississippi? I'm not sure. Uh, let's see. So Chad, oh, I didn't know that. But what will be the advantage of you feeding the eggs if you need the eggs to hatch? Like when would you do that? I'll be interested. I don't have much knowledge of breeding quail at all, so I've never done it before. Yeah, as I said, I think it's great to have a variety, and then especially with ball pythons, it all depends on the individual, right? Some they really want to eat what they want to eat, but most of the times when you give something different, excites them, and that's one of the things that I do is it's mice when they're not very into rats. Um Yeah, pretty much as I said.
Oh, looks like Grandpa Ferguson does what I do.
So let's see.
I add mice into that as well.
Oh, okay. The eggshells. So what do you guys do? Like, since I don't know how many quails do you have? Like, do you guys pickle them? Like, what do you do with your quail eggs for consumption? Do you have some that you like? What? How do you decide like how many you're gonna hatch and how many you're gonna consume? As far as eggs, I don't know how big is your production.
Mine isn't big enough to do both yet, but I plan on getting there. Um, yeah, ask me that question again in the future.
And what are you using? Just shavings for like what are you using as far as bedding?
Straw and shavings. Yep.
Careful with those mites. No, I was telling Travis that I had probably a month and a half ago I had an issue with rodent mites, and I haven't brought any new individuals to the colony, so I know that it was not contamination from other rodents. So my guess is that the shavings came with fur mites. So I had to treat them all, and it's a pain in the butt. So okay, 100 eggs every 16 days.
So
Okay.
what's your hatch rate, Chad, out of that 100 eggs? So, mostly for balut for the Asian. Where do you live, Grandpa
Oh,
Ferguson?
I can try many things. Balut is not one of them.
Yeah, I almost tried it. I couldn't.
No, like, especially with the feathers and everything. So mission morphs. So we have those in Brazil too. We call them big swamp rats. Like the translation literally from like nutria is big swamp rat. The translation from Portuguese to English.
So if I remember correctly, those were imported to the States as a food source back during the Great Depression.
People use a lot in Brazil for the fur, like the fur, and they use for meat too. But they're the second largest rodent.
I hear they're tasty, but I wouldn't know firsthand. I don't know if Mission Morse knows.
Yeah, people get like the wild caught ones. I would say that probably the ones because they have farms for those. It's probably much less gamier, just like capybaras.
Yeah.
When you hunt them, they're much more gamier than the ones that are captive bred.
Is it weird that whenever I look at a capybara, I get hungry, and I think that they've got to just be the best food source there is out there? They just look like a great big fat steak swimming through the water.
I mean, whatever rocks your boat, right?
Are they eaten pretty commonly down there?
They have like usually you're gonna have like in specialized steakhouses, you're gonna have the wild boars and you're gonna have capybara on the menu. That's mostly, but it's not common. Like you go to a buffet and you're gonna find capybaras. Like specialized steakhouses will have
Yeah.
them.
All right.
They're gonna have ostrich, they're gonna have capybaras, and they're gonna have wild boars.
Gotcha. So Choke Artist says his hatch rate is 50%. That's what I hear. That's what mine is. Any ideas on how to get that hatch rate up?
I mean, if you get on chicken, if you get anything under 95, you're dead. As far as industry wise, is like, and I don't know about quail. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, beaver's quite tasty. I love beaver. Ostrich.
Is it similar? Oh, ostrich is amazing. You can't tell the difference from beef and ostrich. To be honest, it's like filet mignon. It's like amazing.
Yeah. I don't know why that hasn't taken off more here in the States.
It's because of the breeding.
They lay one egg at a time.
They're not very prolific. They're a pain in the butt to. I actually did an internship in a exotic animal like farm for meat. So they had like wild boars, they had ostrich, and they're too dumb. Like they die of the most stupid things. Like they would get like their neck like tangled like in the fence wire, and they would like choke to death.
Isn't that usually how you choke though?
And it's hard to it's take a long time for them to grow too. Like they're ginormous. It's funny to collect the eggs though. We would have to be in two because they usually do trios in a pen, and then you have to distract the males, and one distract the male and the other one goes ahead and run into the pen and steal the egg. I think emus are much more prolific, but I don't know how the meat is. So much smaller eggs too.
What about rayas? You guys have rayas down in South America.
Oh, they had rayas too on that farm. So
yeah,
it was funny because the wild boars we would like bottle fed them because we want to for reproduction to make them tame. You had this like 400 pound pig that is just like climbing and trying to get like food from your hand. It's just like was funny.
Yeah, I'll pass on that one.
No, they're like gigantic. Like if you get like the European like wild boars, like the males are like gigantic. But I think we're diverging from the topic. And Chad, do you have the same hatch rate for on both species of quail that you're doing, or like is it about the same? It will be interesting to know. Like we love in Brazil, we don't eat a lot of quail, but we eat a lot of quail eggs and we pickle them.
Oh, interesting.
So like
yeah, I wish. Yeah, my hatch rate is a little over 50%. I wish I knew which 50% weren't going to hatch because then I would cook those.
I was gonna say the problem is if you get 50% of your eggs to eat, like you never know which 50% it is, right?
Yeah. So you end up throwing the 50% away. It'd be nice if you could figure out which ones were going to hatch. Well,
so I don't think since Chad produces quail, I don't think we can ask questions for the giveaway. I don't think we're gonna ask questions on quail because it's not gonna be fair.
Well, we'll have to do something else. What do you think we ought to do, Rafi?
I don't know. Should we, since Chad is so participant on the chat, should we start with a shirt?
You don't want to give him a shirt, do you?
Especially if it's double XL, that would kill me.
I don't think you want to send him a double XL shirt.
Yeah.
Something tells me you don't want to do that.
Yeah, I have a hard time shipping double XL shirts, so but I can try this time.
So you might want to give a few people the backstory as to why you won't give Chad a shirt.
Are you guys listening to this?
I hear somebody is saying something. Is your wife giving you orders?
No, it was a snake pooping, and it's probably
Oh,
gonna be
that was a
nasty.
snake pooping?
Yeah, that's probably gonna be nasty. That will be hilarious. Actually, I'll have to ask you this. So, if you get a shirt, you have to make a video and post on Instagram. That's going to be your
That's
task.
just way too. You're asking way too much.
Of course, you have to do it. And maybe like let's do this. Whoever wins the shirts are gonna get one from me and one from Travis. Like you're gonna have two shirts.
I don't have 4XL though.
Chad, he's calling you fat, dude. Oh, Chad
Oh,
said he needs a.
Rivens Forge says he'll take a 4XL. I think I have a couple 2XLs shoved in the bottom of the box.
I think I didn't think this through. I think I thought of myself when I got the t-shirts to make them, and I got a bunch of L's and XLs. So I didn't think of the big boys.
3XL will work, he says.
Okay. I mean, whatever. If you guys need a 6XL, like if you win, I'm gonna get you a 6XL. Whatever the size that you need, I'm gonna get it for you guys. Because I actually have the press and I have the transfers, so I can make any size. It's just me shipping it. It's the issue.
So since Rafi offered up my t-shirts, if you guys need anything bigger than a 2XL, I will send Rafi my logo and he will print the bigger
Yep.
shirts with my
Yeah.
logo on them for
Yeah,
you.
I can do that.
All right. So what are we going to do to win a t-shirt?
So let me ask a question. Let me think of something.
All right. You think of something and I'm going to get something that they have to identify to win a shirt.
Oh, that would be interesting. Let me think of something. Let me see. I know. Let's wait for Trav.
All right. Here we go. Who can identify the species? First one gets a shirt. I got to put a timer on this. Start the timer, Rafi.
Corn snake.
Start the timer. Yes.
I don't know how to start a timer.
Which one?
Damn, Todd got it.
Which one? Which one? Oh, choke artist. You're almost there, Todd. Which one is it? Carpet. Come on, Todd. Madagascar tree boa. That is correct. Which one?
Todd got it.
Yeah, first one is Todd. I mean, but they both answered equally.
What do you mean?
Which species of
No,
Madagascar?
Todd replied at 11:08, and Reptiles and Auditors reply at 11:09.
No, I see that. Todd is ahead.
What do you mean ahead? Whoever got it first got the shirt.
No, they didn't get it yet. Neither one of them got it yet. They only got part of it.
Oh, you want the whole thing?
Oh, they're not guessing now. They're done. Or they're both Googling it.
Taking a screenshot
All
and
right.
ChatGPT it.
All right. I'll give it to Todd. Whip a berm out. I could whip it. Well, everybody knows what they look like. I'll whip one out though. So there you go. All right, Todd. I'll send you a shirt. This is a Western Sanzinia. Sanzinia. Nope, that one's wrong. Sanzinia volantini. Volantini, however you want to pronounce it. I wish this was Madagascarensis, but this is the Western. 2XL would be great. All right.
So I have mine. So how do I call my ball pythons when unfortunately I have to do it when they have birth defects?
You already told us.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not asking them to guess. I just want to play the memory. What else? Well, I don't have cobras. No, I said, well, you got one part right. What's the memory game? You got it partially right.
Hammer time.
So Danny got it right. I use CO2 and then I use the hammer to destroy the brain stem. So Danny, you can contact me on Insta and then we can go from there. And then you get me the size of your shirt, your address, and I'll get it to you.
Yeah, Todd, message me your address. I'll mail you out a shirt.
Do you have the size that he needs?
Yeah, 2XL.
Oh, you do have it?
Yep. You want green or olive?
Yeah, the collar too.
Yeah. So there you go. There's a dwarf berm right there.
How do we know that it's not a baby berm?
You know, you got to wait for it to get bigger. But this one is 2. Oh, wait, is it 3 now? I have to look at my husbandry pro. So, I mean, it would be quite a bit bigger than this if it was a standard.
Yeah, and for mine, you can pick the colors too.
You gotta send him a shirt.
The problem is if I do send him a shirt, if I do send him a shirt, then all the fun is gonna be over. Hey Chad, why don't Chad, why don't you come to the SCRE, the Southeast Reptile Expo, and then I'll be vending this year, and I can hand deliver it to you.
You're gonna have him go all the way across the country to get a shirt from you.
Look at this. Oh shit.
Yeah.
So
hey,
let's
Chad, if you send me your address, I'll send you a shirt too. That way you can say you got one from me and not Rafi.
Well, Chad, we have better than shirt giveaway after this. So like you might be in the luck because we're gonna have a better giveaway. We're gonna have store credit. Unless you just want my shirt and you don't want any snakes, then you're out of luck.
Well, he might be upset. I don't know.
No, he was probably upset for all the time that it took for me to ship the more than anything to ship the damn t-shirts. And the
So
problem is
how long has
was
he
not
been
even
waiting?
one he wanted 4 t-shirts.
Oh, that's upsetting.
See?
That's too bad. Well, it's whatever works.
I mean,
I am
he
actually team multi-species
oh, me too.
because I tell you what, when you run into a problem with one, with production, the other one might come in clutch, and that's what happened to me with the mice, and then getting the quail. I mean, so I'm always going to try to run multiple species of feeders.
And not only that, if you're having a snake that is refusing to eat, you have multiple preys to offer too. So I don't see a disadvantage as far as feeding. It's all what you can do, right? Let's
Yeah,
say that you can only breed mice, and you can buy some rodents, some rats, or you can buy some ASFs if it's legal in your area, and you can buy quail, but you have to do what works for you. But as far I don't see mice as a bad, like if you only fed mice, the only problem is gonna have some females are gonna have to feed 30 mice, but they are gonna be sustained with whatever you give them as far as rodents. It's not gonna be a problem for them growing and producing. It's just size of the prey, right? The worst part of mice is the size.
yeah,
Um, but most of them would eat. As I have a problem eater, and because she's homicidal, what she does, she kills the rodent and she doesn't eat them. So sometimes I have to switch between rats and mice, and then eventually, like once a month, she would eat one. But she's a 2023, and I weighted her 2 weeks ago. She was like five something gram, 500 something grams.
yeah,
3 years old.
yeah. I've got one that's the same age. It's 800 grams.
And I mean, it's not that she
But
doesn't.
she looks great. I mean, she's got good body composition. She's nice and thick. But you would
Yeah,
think that she was like, a year old or 2 years old.
yeah, but I would never, and I'll never. I'm never thinking of breeding her because I don't know if she's gonna get up to size.
Yeah, I think if you wanted a colubrid but could only get a python, I think that's what you get is a black-headed python. Yeah,
And especially with black-headed pythons, like their main diet is not even rodents. So, like, if you can diversify,
well, they eat snakes. They eat other snakes.
they eat lizards. I don't know if they eat other snakes, but I know they eat they eat lizards.
Yeah,
So, but seriously now, the only way to is there a difference in pattern of the dwarf berms
there is. It
and the mainland?
the problem is that het granite can trick a lot of people. So the pattern is very similar to het granite. There are, like when you talk to the guys that are over there in Indonesia, they say look for the islands in the river, which are these little flecks, and it like makes it look dirty, which you don't really see in the mainlands at all. But that's not like a dead ringer. The dead ringer is how the head develops as they grow. So this one is pure because she's still got a very sharp, pointed muzzle. So when the mainland berms get bigger, you see how their muzzle squares off.
Yeah.
And if you're looking at them head on, it kind of flares out, right? These guys don't do it. It stays very sharp. So like very arrow pointed. So like my adult in there, her head is very sharp and pointy. So that's really all you can tell. And then growth rate as they grow. I mean, a 4-foot Pragashy is going to be a lot smaller than a 4-foot mainland, or a 4-year-old Pragashy is going to be a lot smaller than a 4-year-old mainland. So, and these guys, I think, would probably be by now closing in on 6 feet, 8 feet, and she's probably maybe 4 feet, 4.5, and she's still fairly thin.
And when do they reach maturity for breeding?
So sexual maturity is usually around 4 years, but a lot of the guys that breed them don't really have any luck until around 7 years, 6, 7 years.
So
So
it's a very niche project, right? Like you have to be patient. You have to enjoy the species.
yeah,
Is not something that you're going to be producing like
that's
large
that's exactly
scale.
why I like it. Yeah, that's why I like the Angolans, because you're not doing anything for 6 or 7 years. You gotta enjoy the snake, right? You got to play with it. You got to just, and I have some adults that I bought, and I've got a big female. She's about close to 7 feet. She's massive, and man, that snake is so sweet, so outgoing.
Yeah, that's why I tell people. I have some customers that come to me saying, "Oh, I don't want small snake. I want the big snakes. I want to produce." I said, "You have to enjoy it." I get excited when I see the growth, right? Because even week by week, as you're feeding, when I open the tub like fully to clean it and pull the animal out, I said, "Damn, that animal grew!" Like I went ahead and was like, I was weighing my, like once a month. I don't take notes, but I weigh my, so I know when to upgrade the tub. And usually I upgrade from the 10 series when they reach 800 grams is when I move to the 55s.
Yeah,
And one of the snakes was like 900 and something grams from 2025. And I was like, whoa, that's exciting. You're seeing the progress. Like, don't try to cut corners. I mean, enjoy the hobby. I think every step is like a win, right? And
yeah,
and as you progress, when you're producing babies from your own like your own production, it's amazing. Like it's rewarding. Let's put it this way.
yeah,
So I tell people just don't be patient. Like don't try to go around the curve, like because that's part of what it is. It's the enjoyment and the excitement out of it.
yeah. No, I agree. I mean, that's why I like this. That's why I'm putting all these enclosures here, and I'm trimming down my collection. I mean, I've got 19 snakes that I'm going to sell here, that have not made the cut. So
Yeah, and
that way I can.
I'm constantly doing that too. And I told you at one point I'm gonna have a dedicated room just for the Amazon basing emerald tree boas. Because I'm not into chondros. I had chondros before and it's like they're okay, but my passion is with the emerald. So I want to have a dedicated room and I'm gonna spend the money and make it look nice. Not only good for them, but I want it like to that's probably going to be my office space, right? When I sit, I have my desk, and I'm going to be facing them as I work,
Yeah, that's what I'm
and
setting up here with this room.
so it's about enjoyment. So for you guys that stayed for this long, you deserve something, right? So I'm going to give $100 credit for the first person that say which one of us is the most annoying. I'm
My
I'm
my
I'm
wife watching.
I'm gonna wait on the chat. Like whoever gets it first is gonna win.
Oh, jeez.
Yes, you are absolutely correct. It's Travis. Actually, it's me, but I have to tell it's him. So Gpot, you got $100 credit for my store. You can pick an animal. You can put a deposit on an animal that you want. You can get more than one animal if I have like cheaper animals. See, Danny got it right, but I will never admit to that. So like GPaw won it. but I was called that a lot growing up, like by my classmates
Yeah.
in school. They would like say, "Why are you so annoying?" But I didn't know that I had ADHD back then, so that's that. So it's part of releasing dopamine, right? When you're picking on each other, like Travis and I were always picking on each other. Like it doesn't matter the time of the day. Like we if it's by message, by phone,
Yeah.
it's all love. So Paul, you can contact me through Instagram, and we can get your credit. You can look at yes. You can look at my morph, and you don't have to use it now. Like if you don't see anything, because the hatching season just started. I have actually, when I finish this, I have to pull one clutch from a female that I was cleaning before the show. So you don't have to pick it now. You can use whenever you want it. Travis, do you wanna give some credit to these guys too, or what do you want to do? You want to leave it to the next show, or you want to do it now?
Oh, I can give $100 credit to what I don't have for sale yet, but I will say that I'm over the next couple of weeks I'll be plastering Morph Market and Repta leads.
I'm gonna be all over you too. I'm gonna be all over you because you keep saying that you're gonna post stuff and you have a list of things, but I
Well, I
haven't seen.
I finally made the list today. I went through all the racks and made the list. So that was the big step, was making the list. Now,
Okay.
big step is to update pictures and weights.
Actually, show like you said you're gonna show a different snake when you're talking about for them to guess what it was.
Yeah.
Do you want to show like one of the snakes that you're gonna put for sale? Actually, that's a very good starter breeder. Like not
Sure.
even starter. That's the it has some like really good genes for the project. I don't even have like one of those genes in pies. I don't have it in my collection. Like in pies, I will have it though. Like luckily, I'll have it this season. Already paired for it. Should I put some elevator music while we wait for you? Dun, 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 dun.
So yeah, this guy will go up on Morph Market. And I can't really.
Yeah, the lighting's kind of screwing up the.
Yeah. So he's obviously pied. He's at clown. So he is Enchi, Mojave, yellow belly, blackhead, pied het clown. Yeah. And he's just doesn't fit in my breeding plans anymore. So he'll go up.
Yeah, that's actually this I wouldn't even call it starter animal. Like having the black head and yellow belly. Mojave reduces the pattern a little bit, as you can see, but not every animal is gonna have Mojave when you breed them.
Yeah. Yeah, he's good. He's around 1,000 grams.
Oh, sorry, man. So next time on your next order you can get the $100 off. Unfortunately, you didn't get it before the you bought them, right? But I'm gonna hatch a lot of nice stuff, including Monarch Head Clowns this time. So that will be fun. I probably have quite a few females that are gonna be. Some are even gonna be head clown. Some visual clowns head Monarch. So stay tuned. Like keep your, and I'm gonna have the clutch updates and clutch egg cuttings. And then you can see what I have. So as I said, it doesn't have to be. Oh, sorry, I'm mixing up. You're getting the shirt. So what I'm gonna do is, let's see what we can do on shipping. I don't know if I can get them shipped together. I'll try to see if it's gonna fit, like a shirt is gonna fit in the box. But if not, I can mail separately. But ask Chad, you're probably gonna get like the T-shirt in the next 24 to 36 months, but you'll get it. Well, the problem now, I'm obligated to send him the shirt because he won. Chad just wanted the shirts. He wanted to give me money for the shirts, and I never got him the shirt, so it's even worse. Now, like a giveaway is like a purchase, so I'm obligated to send it.
All right. Well,
Yeah, I think it's it for tonight, guys. Or are you gonna try? Or are you gonna give the $100? Like you're gonna do a?
yeah, I'll do it on the next show. I don't even know what I would. I guess they were supposed to guess the genes in the snake that I told them what they were. We'll do that next time. No problem.
Okay.
I'll make sure we do that. So, all right, folks, thanks for showing up. It was a lot of fun tonight. Really appreciate everybody in the chat. Wish I could say the same about Rafi, but it is what it is. You know, it's hard to get people on shows with you when you're old like me. So, you know, you're kind of got to make the best out of what you get. So,
Yeah.
So, all right.
Yeah, I saw it, and I just mix it up. My ADHD brain after the announcement, that thing was out of my mind. Like, so that's why I wait for people to contact me on Instagram.
Quick, everybody text him and tell him that you won the $100. So
I'll be watching the whole episode to make sure that was the person.
All right, everybody. Enjoy your week. Until next time.
See you guys. Thanks for coming.